I am very confident about 2026 because what we are going to see is the president has done peace deals, tax deals, and trade deals, but one big, beautiful bill. And to go back to affordability, affordability has two components. So it's price of goods and real incomes. So under the one big, beautiful bill, especially for working Americans, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, auto deductibility and loans for American cars. That's all kicking in. Americans have not changed their withholding, so we're going to see substantial refunds to working families in the first quarter of 2026. Americans will change their withholding, and they will get an increase in real income. The trade deals that we've done, I was just at my hometown, Charleston, South Carolina. Boeing is expanding their Dreamliner plan, 1,000 new jobs, and I think we're going to see these plant openings every week. I am very, very optimistic on 2026. We have set the table for a very strong, non-inflationary growth economy.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. Ryan Huggins here, aka Win with Ryan. Over the past few weeks, investors have been fleeing the crypto market like it was 2022 all over again. But here's the twist. Amid all of this chaos, a few smart plays are quietly stacking wins, hinting at a rebound that's just one policy shift away. There was over $5 billion pulled out of the market in November alone. With the crypto market moving up today, is it a trap? We're going to dive into that for sure. Will we spot the survivors before this next wave hits? Stick around. I've got the breakdowns that could save your stack. We're going to head over to X, find out the breaking news that's happening in the crypto world today. Is there hope after this max exodus? We're going to take a look at this deeper. The new XRP ETFs are actually bucking the broader slump. Zcash is now down 30% from its November top. Will Zcash price crash further? We're going to check out XP Market, which is the XRP ETF terminal. And at the end of the video, we're going to be checking in on the charts for XRP. We're going to be looking at the areas of support and resistance that you need to know about right now. Plus, we're going to be looking at short-term and long-term momentum waves.
We just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now.
First up, we're heading over to CoinMarketCap, checking out the overall health of the crypto market today. We're trading at $3.02 trillion total market cap, which is up 2.64% in the last 24 hours. $160 billion worth of trading volume, and our fear and greed index has creeped up from 10 up to the 15. We are still in extreme fear. Altcoin season index reading 23 out of 100. Bitcoin dominance continues to drop. We're at 58.1%. Will we be in the 57th percentile tomorrow? Top 6 cryptos by total market cap. Number 1, Bitcoin back to 88,000. Ethereum number 2 at 2,900. Tether at $1. Number 3, XRP at number 4 at $2.22. BNB at number 5 at $863, and taking back the number 6 slot, Solana at $138. As you saw in the intro of the video, Scott Bessent giving a interview this weekend at Meet the Press. He says we're going to see substantial refunds to working families in Q1 of 2026. Donald Trump has been catching a lot of heat over the last couple of months because of the fact that he's been focusing so much on outside of the United States, but it was to put in these potential really large, great economic achievements going forward for 2026, where that middle class will finally have jobs again. And when that middle class has liquidity, they can reinvest into stocks and, of course, crypto. And one of the best things I've seen for tracking the ETFs, as you know, we do track the ETFs on CoinMarketCap for Bitcoin and Ethereum every single week. But we don't really have any way of keeping track of XRP ETFs until now. You'll want to head over to x.com and follow XP Market. XRP ETFs are heating up and many don't know how or where to track them. You can now track live XRP ETF volumes, detailed spot market price for every XRP linked product, full derivatives and leverage markets, issuer launch queues and countdowns, institutional assets under management exposure across major asset managers, plus historical volume analytics and category level breakdowns. This is really cool. It's all free for right now. Don't know if they're ever going to charge for this, but the link is here. This is XP Market. Go check them out. When you go to the website, it is phenomenal. Even the way it's laid out is really great. But as we can see, the spot XRP inflow volume for XRP is $100 million in the last 24 hours. Leverage volume, $75 million. So that is correct. $175 million worth of inflows into the XRP ETFs. We even have this graph here that's giving us, I clicked on, this is all volume right here. We're going to click on spot only because this is the ones where these guys have to actually go and buy a 1-for-1. So we've got Bitwise, Canary Capital, Rex Osprey reporting right now. This is in the last 24 hours, as you can see, and you can see the charts. But what's also cool is down here, they also have the Bitwise, Franklin Templeton, Canary Capital, Rex Osprey, Grayscale, Amplify. These are the spot markets, as you can see right here. And then we do have also the derivatives leverage markets down here below as well. On each one of these sectors, you're going to see the volume in the last 24 hours per ETF. Plus, you're going to see the spread. You're going to see the total volume and the fee. So huge shout out to XP Market. Go check them out. And in an interesting post here for Ripple, it does also translate well over for XRP. But Reese Merrick, who's the senior executive officer, managing director for Middle East and Africa of Ripple, he says BlackRock's first board meeting in Abu Dhabi isn't symbolic. It's a signal. I'm excited for the continued opportunities for Ripple across the region. So what is Ripple cooking up with BlackRock over in Abu Dhabi? Also positive news, Tacorium CEO says Ripple XRP is on track to become a modern rival to JP Morgan once it secures its U.S. banking license. So as I've asked before, let me know down in the comments, would you bank with Ripple Bank? And in some unfortunate news for the real estate market, U.S. foreclosure rates have surged 32% year over year. And that's why I was talking about earlier with these middle-class people getting more manufacturing jobs to be able to work here in the United States. They'll be able to afford their mortgage, buy new houses, pay off their credit card debts, and really pump some liquidity back into this market. Also, a major scenario going on with MicroStrategy and also JP Morgan as well. Teddy Bitcoin says rumors circulating the United States is contemplating a multi-billion-dollar investment in MicroStrategy, and they needed the MNAV to be one before it made sense for them to invest. So they manufactured a crash on Bitcoin. Now, you hear about this all the time, that the big whales and the big players, they are crashing the markets on purpose so they can enter at lower levels. And in reality, it seems that way. And it does seem that's a very realistic thing. Now, back in the day, you used to hear that a lot with Bitcoin OGs. Used to be able to crash the market like back in 2019, 2018, that they had enough cumulative strength together. They were all colluding behind the scenes on Discord channels, and they would all sell at the same time, crashing the markets, and they would all buy back up. Well, now the prices are so high, liquidity is so heavy that these OG players, they can't even manipulate the market anymore. Now we have to have the United States government and larger players stepping in to do that. And if you guys remember the other day, the other big thing that came out about October 6th was the reason for that crazy liquidation moment was because of the fact that the stablecoin USDE, which is issued by Athena Labs, was actually the one that depegged from $1. Stablecoin not equaling $1 is a massive problem. It actually briefly mispriced around 65 cents. And the reason this happened was because of Binance. They have a system where their pricing algorithms are only based on Binancing prices. They did not take into consideration all of the other exchanges as a whole, causing this extreme liquidation. So when people are talking about what happened on October 10th, and they were talking about how Tom Lee says he knows who triggered the October 10th crash, and he said, oh, I'm not naming names. Everybody already knew who it was. It was Binance. And we knew that it was Binance because they had admitted to it that they made a mistake. They even paid reparations. There's actually a $100 million, $300 million fee that they used to pay back people that were liquidated and hurt on their platform, but all the other platforms also had issues. And another reason that the market crashed or people are speculating on is JP Morgan is purposely shorting MicroStrategy, causing a massive problem. Well, Michael Saylor came out and he had to defend his position because, as you know, Michael Saylor's strategy and his company Strategy have an average price of Bitcoin at about $76,000. If for any reason Bitcoin were to dip below $76,000 and then continue to get lower, MicroStrategy, the company, would potentially go bankrupt and have a severe problem. And that is why JP Morgan was trying to purposely short the stock of MicroStrategy to push them out of the market. Michael Saylor came out and said, Strategy is not a fund, it's not a trust, it's not a holding company. We're a publicly traded operating company with $500 million software business and a unique treasury strategy that uses Bitcoin as productive capital. Now, a lot of people come out and disputed this whole $500 million software company because the software company itself actually runs at a loss every single year. Saylor went on to say that no passive vehicle or holding company could do what we're doing. Index classification doesn't define us. Our strategy is long-term. Our conviction in Bitcoin is unwavering, and our mission remains unchanged to build the world's first digital monetary institution on a foundation of sound money and financial innovation. So with all that being said, Donald Trump, Scott Bessent, and allies are working on a multi-step plan to bolster Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, and stablecoins while simultaneously defunding JP Morgan, the Federal Reserve, and the U.S. banking cabal to protect United States citizens. The administration views it as a defining battle. So let me know down in the comment section, who do you think is going to win this battle, Donald Trump or JP Morgan? CryptoQuant also has some great information here. The risk reward setup that only appears once every few years, the Bitcoin Sharpe ratio. Well, it has collapsed back toward the zero line, a level historically associated with moments of maximum uncertainty and the early stages of risk repricing. So as we can see with the circled lines here, the black line is obviously Bitcoin's price. The colored lines here is the Sharpe ratio. The last time that it hit this ratio, we did actually go into a bear market. The time before that was the kickoff of the bull market. So as of right now, we did just hit that level. There's a question mark here indicating which direction are we going to be going. We will continue to keep you updated, but this is a massive revelation that happens very rarely. Crypto investment products neared a $5 billion outflow in the last 4 weeks, but late week inflows show early signs of improving sentiment despite having selling. Crypto exchange traded products saw $1.94 billion worth of outflows last week, a small decline from $2 billion exodus the previous week, according to a Monday research report from CoinShares. The 4-week total now stands at $4.9 billion, marking the third largest outflow run on record. Only the March tariff-driven sell-off and the February 2018 downturn were bigger. However, CoinShares noted tentative signs of a turnaround, citing $258 million in inflows during the last trading days of the week, following 7 straight days of redemption. And if we head over here to the Bitcoin ETF net flow, we can see on Friday, they did have a nice, massive day of inflows, nearly $250 million. However, the day before sold off $903 million, nearly $1 billion on sell-off. But as we can see, mostly down, a little slight blip up on the 18th. And then, of course, on Friday of last week, a blip up. No reports for this week just yet. But obviously, as you saw the markets going up, it will be a great number to the upside for day one of this week. And on top of that, we do have reports from today as far as XRP's ETFs, 100 million plus $75 million worth of inflows. So CoinShares tracking it here, weekly crypto asset flows. We can see we've been on a very strong trajectory to the downside, but we have great news because XRP funds have bucked that broader slump. XRP investment products are a rare bright spot right now. The XRP ETPs recorded $89.3 million of inflows last week, defying the broader downturn, even as the token fell 6.9%. So even though prices were going down all last week in all of crypto, XRP ETFs and ETPs had massive amounts of inflows. They were front running this upcoming week's push to the upside. Solana ETPs were in the red. They had $156 million in outflows, and Solana falling 3.5% according to Cointelegraph data. And if you were watching last week, Solana actually fell out of the top 6. They were below USDC in total market cap. Meanwhile, the industry's most successful traders, who are tracked as smart money traders on Nansen's blockchain intelligence platform, are betting on the short-term appreciation of XRP token. So as we see, XRP is highlighted here. One-day net position change, $10 million in long position. So XRP Army, we were holding strong. That $1.90 seems like a good holding spot. We're going to check on the charts here in a couple of minutes. Now, during that downturn, we were also tracking Zcash very closely. And in fact, if you go over to our community, Altcoin Pro University, there's a link down in the bottom. 17 days ago, Zcash. Hey, just joined the group a couple days ago. Had a quick question about the Zcash train, over or should I jump on board right now? And one of our head analysts, DeFi Mo, answered, the privacy narrative's going for a while now, and I personally see the risk high at the moment. The recent pullback, however, could give an entry for a short-term trade, but I'm skeptical for a longer hold at the moment, to be honest. If you want to trade it, you should be flexible and go with the flow. So, of course, not financial advice, do not buy or sell anything we talk about on the channel. But if we take a look at Zcash 17 days ago, we were peaking out. And thanks to our head analyst, DeFi Mo, telling us, hey, we may be in a potential area of a pullback, they were able to avoid a significant drawdown. As we can see, Zcash is now down 26%. These are weekly candles, so 7 days each one. So if you're into being a part of a community where you can ask questions and bounce ideas off each other, go ahead and check out that link down below. Analysts are warning of a pump and dump risk associated with Zcash's sudden surge in hype. Zcash has dropped 30% from its November peak of $750. As of Monday, Zcash traded with a symmetrical triangle pattern on the 4-hour chart, reflecting indecision among traders following its 1,500% price rally since late September. In Zcash's case, the market sentiment remains fragile, pressured by uncertainty over Federal Reserve rate policy and stretched AI sector valuation. Thus, a breakdown below the triangle's lower trend line appeared to be the most likely outcome, and prevailing macroeconomic conditions persist these coming weeks. Crypto trader Insane Supra opened a short at $542. If it breaks down, liquidity sits around $520 to $500. If that move were to play out, this could even push Zcash towards $282, which is approximately 50% below the current levels. All right, having a look at XRP in the charts, we're taking a look at our weekly spider lines chart here, which is our support and resistance lines that have been developed over time. And as we can see, price did jump right off of our $1.90 spider line, held as support, which is a great, beautiful thing, because if we had lost that level, there's potential of coming back to $1.60. And there is still a possibility, if we don't break, this is on the daily charts, above the $2.27 spider line. It's also running into interference on the 30-day exponential moving average. It needs to surge through that. And then we also need to surge back up above the 50 exponential. So prices I'm looking for resistance, we are running into one right now at $2.27, $2.30, $2.30. If we can break that with the candle close, be great. Next level up, we're going to go to $2.38. And then after that, we are looking up at $2.60. The great thing is, if we can get up to $2.60 with a candle body close, we will then officially be able to change market structure on the daily, and we could be flipping back to bullish. As we take a look at our short-term momentum waves, we can see that they have turned up nicely, broke above the 25, the short-term one here. The problem we're still running into on this higher time frame is our Wolfpack indicator, our bull bear indicator that I like to use, is still running red. So we're red on the daily. Let's take a look at the 12-hour. The 12-hour is also red. We are surging nicely. 6 green candles in a row, which is very positive. We have 10 hours, 53 minutes left in this 6th green candle. Take a look at a 6-hour. This is very positive. The 6-hour has now broken into bullish territory. If we can continue making this move, that'll be great. We can also see our overhead resistance line as well on our 1100 exponential moving average, comes in at $2.45. Take a look at our 4-hour chart here. 4-hour also running bullish. Short-term momentum has maxed out at 100. Mid-term momentum's also maxed out. So in the short term, overnight, there is a possibility of a pullback. Now, price does not have to pull back. It can actually trade sideways, but our momentum indicator needs to gather some more steam by dropping down, resetting to the 0 cycle. But this is positive. It's the first time we've broken above the 0 line on the Wolfpack indicator since November 9th, which did make a nice run up to our previous spider line of that $2.60. If we do fail here and we do have price start to come back down, looking for support again here at $1.90. Taking a look at our hourly chart, we've been running bullish on the hourly chart now for quite some time. We broke here at the 1500 hour Pacific time, November 22nd, so 2 days ago. been running up nicely, which is great. We can see we're holding support on the hourly above the 10 exponential moving average. Our level of resistance on the 1100 1 hour is up here at $2.37. So with XRP on the hourly charts, I did also make a custom chart here. These are all of these lines, the 5-second, 10-second, 15-second, all the way through to the 4-hour charts. These are 1100 exponential moving averages on different times. So it makes it easier to see visually what's going on. So let's go ahead and turn off these really low time frame ones so they're not so busy down there. All right, so as we can see, we started climbing back above these lower time frame 1100 exponential moving average. This was the line right here, the 15-minute. We broke above that, and we are going bullish above the 15-minute. Then the next level was the 30-minute here, as you can see. This next level that we're going to potentially run into is the 1 hour, and the 1 hour is up here at 237. So we do need to hold nice support above this line right here, which is the 30-minute 1100 exponential moving average, which is 223, and surge up to the next level. Now, this chart is really nice, and it works on multiple different tokens. For example, here's the Bitcoin one. We can see Bitcoin's price has not been able to actually gather steam enough to get above the 10-minute 1100 exponential moving average. The next one that will come into play is going to be here, which is the 15-minute. That's going to be resistance at 91,000. Here's the 30-minute resistance at 96,000. And if we can break all the way back up to the 1 hour, that gets us back above the $100,000 mark again at 101,994. So those are some levels to watch as resistance on the way up for Bitcoin. We do have a lot of these lower time frame support levels now. We've turned these lower time frame resistance into support. We can also check the same thing on Ethereum here. So we can see right here, the 15-minute is right above us on Ethereum at $3,003. Then we have the 30-minute up here, which is going to come into us at 3217. And then the 1 hour is all the way back up at 3,500. So we have started gaining some short time frame momentum to the upside, but we are still bearish on all of the other higher time frames. So XRP is leading the way because it is the first coin of those three major coins to break above the 30-minute. And again, like I said, we're watching for it to get back up with some momentum to $2.37 on the 1100 exponential moving average 1 hour chart.
If you have 10K or more in crypto, you're literally giving up an extra $300 per month in passive income. You're giving up on a free 3 to 8% additional monthly yield just because it's sitting on an exchange like Coinbase or Binance and you're being lazy. You're taught to hodl, just wait for price appreciation, and this is costing you thousands of dollars. So let's see what happens here. While your assets are sitting there doing absolutely nothing and inflation is kicking your ass. For example, Ethereum didn't do anything over the course of 3 months. XRP didn't do anything over a whole year. And Solana, same thing. It didn't do anything for an even longer period of time while you sat there making no money. And I'm not saying that these are bad investments. It's quite the opposite, actually. But the smartest investors in the world make their crypto work for them to generate additional yield. And why would you not do that? You're holding these crypto assets anyways. It's like buying a rental property and not renting it out. If you hold on to the property because you believe that it's going to appreciate in value over years, why wouldn't you rent it out so someone else can pay your mortgage while you still get the value appreciation? So it makes no sense to just hold your crypto without earning yield on your idle coins. And if you're just holding your crypto on exchanges like Coinbase, your assets aren't safe. In fact, Coinbase was hacked for $400 million and the hackers bribed Coinbase employees so they could access sensitive user information, demanding a $20 million ransom from Coinbase, which the company refused to pay.
I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. I'm going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying no. We are not going to pay your ransom.
And I even received a letter in the mail saying that my information was included in that hack. So I'm speaking from firsthand experience here, not just an article that I read online. So not only are you leaving free money on the table by not earning yield on your idle crypto, but you're also putting yourself at risk of losing it all, getting hacked, or having your account frozen by keeping your crypto on centralized exchanges. Because if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. You already know this, so I don't have to tell you. You can't afford to be lazy with your capital. The US is drowning in nearly $40 trillion in debt. So this is your insurance against the system to learn how you can earn passive income on your coins every single day while protecting your capital from hacks or scammers. My research team put together a step-by-step tutorial for you to start earning yield on your crypto today, and it takes less than 10 minutes to get set up. All you need to do is go to altcoinpro.com after you're done watching this video, create your account, and click on the Start Here lesson under the classroom, and you'll discover how one liquidity pool is earning our members up to 40% yield on digital assets that they already own. Plus, you can go into the DeFi yield picks and see even more opportunities to earn passive income on your coins safe and predictably with complete control and ownership of your assets. You will make significantly more money by being your own bank. And all you need to do is go to altcoinpro.com to get started right now.